Bombadillo!
What's up, everybody? Destroyer here. Welcome back to another cast of the RotWK patch 2.2 version 7. Today we have a 1v1 on Gap of Rohan. That's the name of the map. I was about to call it Westfold. It is not. Alright, let's see who we got today. We have In Bloom as Isengard in the left side, and his opponents for this matchup in the right side is TrimA. So we got TrimA as men versus In Bloom as Eisen. Cool. Okay, so they're getting their economies rolling. We can have a look at the map real quick, see what we have in this map, since it's not like played that often, I guess. A lot of 1v1s are played on 4 devices, of course. So some people may have never even seen this map before, but it does have a goblin layer here in there, which can be utilized. And the new in-unit system in version 7 is pretty sweet, so it might not be a bad idea. Men get the Elven Galadrim warriors, and Isengard gets Black Orcs, which are actually pretty good as well. Which have had a bit of a buff to their battalion size and whatnot. So pretty good. But there's 2 of those there. That's about it, really, it looks like. Other than that, you have a river, many passages to go up through. Right here, right here, right here. And go up here. It's a pretty cool map, actually. Alright, TrimA is going for 2 barracks starts. Interesting. So he's going to get some Rohan Spearmen there, and something else out of that one, of course, I would expect. In Bloom is going for RotWK starts. Cool. And of course, casting this on the HD edition alpha of Rise of the Witch King, so my units have fancy skins, and that is not a part of version 7. Can keep saying it. Alright, there is the first battalion of Uruk for In Bloom, and his second battalion will be... who knows? We'll never know. Alright, we got some Rohan Spearmen out there. He's going to creep the wargs. Definitely a good call. Some little bit of power points and gold for him. So he's already got a quarter of the power point after just killing a couple wargs, so it's worth it. And of course you get the money. He has gone for no power yet. In Bloom has gone for Vision of the Palantir. Vision of the Palantir for Isengard is pretty cool though now, because you can cast it on units of yours, or your allies of course, and you get 15% speed in addition to the vision that it gives. So it's pretty cool for Isengard units to track down things, get to places quick, get away. You can use it as escape power as well, of course. It's just a nice secondary utilization power for it, so it's pretty cool. And a power change that I actually like quite a bit. And the elves have something similar, of course, for their Farsight, except it's a 15% range bonus, which sounds horrible, but it's not that bad in practice. Alright, so we get wargs. Interesting choice. Not a bad choice, though. Wargs, of course, are good against swordsmen, are they not? Swordsmen and archers. So warg packs could help out here, especially with the Howl. They will eat through these dudes with the crossbow's help. And he did manage to save his furnace. Very nice. Warg riders, though, are very good in version 7 now as well, so if he goes for some of those, would not be a bad call. This is one of the earlier games played on version 7, so it's possible they don't know some of the things that were bad in version 7 or version 6, maybe are not so much in version 7. But we'll see, I guess. I don't know. Alright, so 1 battalion of archers, 3 battalions of Gondor soldiers here. And of course these Rohan Spearmen that are rolling around, doing their thing. Looks like In Bloom has found TrimA's Rohan Spearmen though, because he can try and steal the creep. Not going to be able to. Another little change, the creep treasure has actually been increased, so that's a thing as well. So it's actually pretty profitable to do some creeping, as you get a bit more money than you did in version 6. Not a ton, but you know, money is money, right? Especially early game when you can get more units out quicker. That's pretty important, actually. So I would imagine creeping on Forts of Isen is a little bit more important now than it was in version 6. but it's still, you don't necessarily have to do so, but it does help out your start, I would expect. Unless you're being swarmed by goblin warriors or something and you can't really go break off some dudes to go creep, I would guess it would be more profitable to do so. Alright, Emblem's got a decent sized force. Pretty decent, in fact. Quite so. There's a single Gondor soldier there. If you wanted to, you could of course heal that one guy up by sending him after a well, which he's building right now, but probably not going to do so. That one man needs to go to the front. I would expect TrimA will win this engagement, as there is a lot more of his dudes there. But Bloom is harassing down in the base now with what he has here. He really should have howled his wargs though before they all died. A little bit late. Better late than never, I guess. That single warg will have a nice buff until he gets shot dead. And the Uruks do manage to take the farm. Very nice. He doesn't even have to lose these if he can get them away. He does have Vision of the Palantir, which has a pretty quick recharge time. As you see there, it's not too bad. If you can see it. But you can use it fairly regularly, which is kind of cool. You also notice the timer resets every time you switch the who you're observing. That's just the thing. It's because I'm switching which Palantir. The timer's tied to the Palantir, so it'll be doing that. It won't do that for you in game unless you're of course dead and you're observing. It should just be the normal timer without any resets, unless you press F9. In game, that does hide your UI completely, if you didn't know that. And that will of course reset your timer as well. Alright, so we got some things there. We got more Rohan Spearmen. So he's healing up some Gondor soldiers. More Gondor soldiers there. Up in the north, we have some Uruk-hai being finished off by Gondor archers. And Gondor soldiers there. And it looks like TrimA is pushing into the base of Inbloom right now. He's trying to fend off with a lot of crossbows. He does have his crossbows in the front line though, which is not good. It's very much not good. These guys are trying to get really close, trying to shoot these guys. And they're getting picked off by the Rohan Spearmen. Definitely not something you want to do. You want to keep your guys behind your melee troops. Also, I'm noticing he's not using shield wall. There he goes. But if you are going to use shield wall, you should use hold ground stance as well, because you get that huge armor boost from it. There's no reason not to do it. Unless you really don't like your guys not auto-acquiring things. But you can attack move your guys. It's not that big a deal. And they still auto-acquire that way. Alright, we got some cav here. Thunder Knights up for TrimA. Still dealing with warg harassment, it seems. That is one specialty of wargs. They do pretty well at getting around and harassing farms with their howl. Because it gives them a pretty decent bonus to damage, of course. 50% damage, 50% armor. Just like a Warg Rider gets. They don't do trample like Warg Riders do, though. They're nice and mobile units to harass farms with. Ah, we got some Warg Riders. Very nice. I'm gonna run down this beaver. No, maybe not. And it looks like we do have an inn being taken. There is the Galadrim Warrior. Costs 400, 75 command points. Strong versus infantry. They can stealth in your trees just like elves can. And they can switch between bow and sword, which is pretty cool. It's a neat feature, and it's definitely a lot more balanced than the original Dunedain Ranger was. Early access to some really high tier archers was not the best. And they were the only faction I felt in version 6 that really had an OP in unit in comparison to the others. Because in old patches of dwarves, they used to have Men of Dale, but then of course they got removed. But the men never had their archer unit removed, which is kind of strange. Hobbits arguably are pretty strong as well, though, now. They've always been pretty good. If you mix them into your dwarven armies early game, hobbits can be incredibly nice. But you do see a lot of dwarven players do that on Fords of Isen. It's just really good to do. It's a solid unit when they're in rock throw mode. But I do want to see the Galadrim Warrior used a little bit. To get some good extent in some players' games. Would be cool, I think. See how well they actually perform. I haven't used them too much myself. Oh, looks like we've tanked one kept. Won't be seeing one yet. Nonetheless, definitely have the upper hand here. I don't think Bloom's force is big enough here either, and he's of course not buffed either, which does not help. I'd say TrimA's definitely got the upper hand in this match. He's got a lot more units. He's got an army down here, he's got an army up here, and he's got an army in his base. He's got 3 different armies of decent size. In comes the units. We got Faramir out for TrimA. There's the war chant down on Bloom's army. He's got little pikes, RotWK, and a crossbow there. And of course, you have the war guards up here, who seem to be bugging out a bit. Not sure what that's about. But we do have a Faramir out here, and Faramir is quite good in version 7. As is fire or arrow volley. You see, that's the new effect of arrow volley. Arrow volley does its damage, and then it sets the area on fire, which is very powerful. Quite good. It makes arrow volley very, very useful now. You can use it to set fire to ground, or you can use it, of course, as just arrow volley power, like normal. It's pretty good. So now you sometimes will choose whether you want Tom Bombadil or you want arrow volley now, which is pretty cool because Tom Bombadil is always the go-to. He's really powerful, so it's crazy not to. But of course, arrow volley is now very powerful and very useful. Ooh, that is a bit risky. Sharku almost didn't make it out of there. Last thing you want to do is charge pikes. Sharku with some war riders, though, is very powerful. With his leadership to wargs, and then you get a war chant, you can occasionally trample pikes and not die. At least not horribly. But, not entirely, of course. Do we have any good Galadrims? It looks like there might have been some out. Maybe not. I was gonna say something about Faramir, wasn't I? Faramir got a buff! That's what I was gonna say. Faramir's wounding arrow is now very, very powerful. I wouldn't say very, very powerful. I think it does the same amount of damage it did, which is a decent amount. But it now has a little AoE splash fear. So if you hit the unit, say here, the units like around it will flee in terror for a little bit. Not just monsters. So it also can be used to cause monsters to flee, of course. But it works on anything now, which is pretty cool. It gives Faramir a lot of utilization, a lot of different things you can do with him. Use him defensively. I've used the wounding arrow defensively before. Just fire it at an army that's coming at you, and it will turn back for a little bit. Or you can, of course, use it offensively to break up the enemy a little bit, and then attack them. There's all kinds of utilizations you can do. It's pretty cool, and a pretty good change for Faramir, so it makes him more useful. And arguably a better choice than Boromir most of the time, I'd say. A lot of times you would see Faramir before Boromir in version 6, because Faramir's just a solid hero, but now he's really a solid hero. He still has leadership at level 6. So you don't actually need a Boromir if you don't want him. Boromir's still very useful, of course. He still has the Horn of Gondor and all that. And the experience giving powers are pretty strong now. There's the Galadrim Warriors, which look very cool. Especially with the purple color. Which the new colors I think are awesome. I'm trying to reset my camera there. It wasn't working. It looks like he is pushing forth with quite a sizable force. I wonder what the range of these are. Let's see what their max range is in comparison to, say, a Thilian or a Gondor Archer. It looks like Bloom is going for Wormtongue and Lurtz. Interesting choice. Not a bad choice by any means. Scream is actually very useful. Venomous Words is very good. Target enemy get debuff, minus 25% damage and 20% armor. Nullifies their leadership as well. which can be pretty huge. There's a new particle effect for the vision of Palantir when it's casted on your units. I think it's really cool, actually. Reminds me of like Ghostfire. I don't know. Something like that. Looks like they're really hauling balls. Pretty neat. But once again, not having enough troops here. Does have some crossbows back there, but I think his Lurtz is going to die. There's the summon Rohirrim. Ooh, that's going to take care of any crossbows. And, of course, run down Lurtz if he didn't die already. There he is. Wormtongue, of course, can escape if he wants to, with his power there. Might get a decent setup for Inbloom, at least. But he's definitely outgunned here, I'd say. Nice. The Galadrian warriors mixed with the Gondor archers, taking out crossbows pretty easily. Well, you would expect so, at least. Unfortunately, there's a lot of crossbows that are just not protected right now, and the Rohirrim summon is ruining them quite severely, in fact. Rohirrim summons a nice power. You can trample a lot of stuff without having to worry about them dying, because of course they don't get power points anymore nowadays. So summoned units can just be freely thrown away, which is neat. So you can run over pikes or whatever. Your enemy's not going to experience the power points off your summons. You go YOLO with them. That's the best way to use your summons, of course. Here's a situation I never expected. Wormtongue chasing Faramir off. Right. I think you realize that's not a good idea. I would agree with that statement. Right, we got a blacksmith going up. Yeah, of course, 2 barracks, stables, and an upgraded archer range for TrimA. Looks like he's about to lose his outpost in Bloom, though. He does have some Warg Riders and Sharku here. But if Sharku can get to level 5, his new Tame the Beast ability, it does no longer take control of enemy wargs. It now gives target wargs and warriors excellent experience instead. Which is a much more useful ability, especially with the experience overhaul system, where you kind of want to level up your experienced units now. It's more beneficial to do so. They're not going to get more power points. Well, at least not as much as they used to, or something, or more experience. It used to be bad to kind of level up your units a bit. Ah, there's a nice HD edition urban skin. I love that one. But now it's not nearly as detrimental to you to actually level up your units. It's actually a pretty good thing to do so. Oh no, they're oh shit! I clicked in the map. Oh my goodness! They're overly ruined, and Grima is 1v1ing Aragorn and Blademaster. That's their Blademaster new Aragorn particle effect as well. It's blue now instead of red. It looks much cooler, I think. So definitely a cool change. It fits better with the good theme as well. It's always kind of weird when the good units had this red particle effect that made them look evil. It's kind of strange. So I'm all for that.
Let's go.
So some Black Orcs are finished off there. Black Orcs are very good. They cost 60, or they have a command point 60, and it costs 250. All Black Orcs gain 25% damage when gathered in numbers of 100 or more. So that's pretty strong as well. If you can get a lot of Black Orcs together as Isengard, you actually get the Horde bonus, which is pretty powerful in conjunction with, say, Lurtz's leadership and in War Chant and all that. Oh, the Tower Guards. Shoshek. Tower Guards in purple. Hobridge. So Sharku's Man-Eater is pretty powerful as well. 50% damage, 100% armor, and he heals himself. So he gets a buff and he heals when he uses that ability. It's a very good one. Looks like Imbloom is throwing up a tower here. Which is not a bad idea. Lumber mills have had a bit of a nerf. They do give you less per log. And the Orc Laborers are 2 command points now instead of 1. It's not a huge debuff to them, but it is it is something, you know. You don't want to nerf them too much, but they can still be utilized to quite great effect, especially if you get Field of Fires. It's still going to be huge. Speaking of powers, TrimA has got himself Rohan, of course. Allies. Power Volley, Rally Call, 12.696 of 775. And then in Bloom, the Isengard player has got himself Wildman Summon, a Vision Palantir, War Chance, Crew Bond, 14 power points, gain 779 of 1,000. So he's doing pretty well on the economy front. You can also go for a 15-point power. I'm going to wait and see what he picks. But it looks like he's in a bit of combat at the moment. I'll come back to that. Oh, nice. This is a much more balanced battle, I'd say. I'd say Isengard actually is the upper hand in this one. Aragorn is going to wreck house, though. Agreement is going to start killing off Galadrim's. It's like he can actually one-shot Galadrim warriors. Well, they are debuffed as well, which does help. For sure. Looks like TrimA's brought a little force to the top. It's like Wounding Arrow was used. Lurks is purple struck Aragorn. Aragorn's going to fall here. And down he goes. Very nice. Finally a nice trade-off for In Bloom. I felt most of them have been very much in TrimA's favor, but that one definitely went in his favor. He killed Aragorn, he killed Faramir, the Vandalist army's dead, and now he's poised to do a vicious counterattack. Let's see what he got in his power. He actually went for the Tame the Land, but he gained a lot of power points there. He almost has 15 again. He did want that buff for the battle, which is smart actually. Isengard's Tame the Land is pretty cool because, of course, you can put it down, you get the 50% damage to the armor, but you also get Scavenger on that Tame the Land as Isengard. I didn't know that for the longest time. But you put it down, you get kills on that Tame the Land, you actually get money as Isengard. It's pretty nice. So if you don't have Lurtz, who's already giving you money, his Lurtz doesn't have pillage yet. I'm not sure, I don't think it stacks. I would expect it wouldn't. It doesn't, of course. It's nice to have. It's just a nice secondary ability to have for that. We got an Army of Warguards led by Sharku in the bottom right. We got a Wildman Summon up here in the top left of his base. Wildman Summon has had a little change as well. One of the battalions is now an Axthor battalion. As you see right there, there's the Axthor battalion. So there's 3 battalions of Wildman, 1 battalion of Axthors. And of course, the Axthor model has been taken out of the Wildman model. There used to be like 1 or 2 little Axthors in the battalion of Wildman, but it's been taken out, so now they're specifically to the Axthor battalion. Which makes it a little less confusing, I guess. Works for me. I think that's good. And he's probably going to get this level 3 farm. Axthors are still decent against buildings, so it's not bad by any means. Of course, they can attack things from range, which is pretty nice. The only downside is they don't have the pillage like the Wildmen do, the normal Wildmen. That's a nice secondary feature of that. Ooh, down goes the builder, very nice. This forge is level... Nope, it's level 1. Hasn't been upgraded yet. If he does upgrade this to level 2, this will allow repairing of siege units now. At level 2 and above, if you upgrade your forge works, it'll act as a well for siege units, which is pretty neat. Because otherwise you wouldn't be able to heal your siege units. But now you can. With that little change from version 7. It's pretty neat. We do have Saruman out for In Bloom now. Who could be a game changer if used correctly. So we'll see if that happens or not. Scream is up to level 5. He does a backstab at level 5, of course. Which is pretty good. High damage melee attack, but also poisons target enemy. And level 8, of course, he can temporarily gain control of target enemy hero, which could be very good, especially if you take Aragorn or even Faramir and use your wounding arrow on your own army. That's pretty good. There's the Warg attack. He's decided to counter with that. And then, unwisely, he walked right back into the fire. I don't know what In Bloom was thinking, but that was not the best of moves. He just lost a lot of wards because of that. It does set the ground on fire, meaning you probably don't want to stand in it, but What do I know? Sharky almost died there. Very close. He can use Man-Eater though to heal himself. And he probably should find a unit to eat. There's a builder he could eat. I can do it. Got some Galadrim. There we go. Galadrim warrior is being utilized in melee. Very nice. They managed to take a farm. But that is the reason they're cool units. They're very, what's the word? I forgot the word. Shit. They can do multiple things. How did I forget the word? Damn. Harsh. Got fire arrows now. On the Ithilien Rangers. Bombard, the Bombard ability, has a nice new particle effect. I found out is the new. That's the way you see the new particle effect. Is you use Bombard. If you normally shoot arrows, you don't get the new fire effect particle effects. You have to bombard with it, which is actually pretty good as well. If you bombard the enemy while they're standing in place, it's actually pretty strong. Otherwise, it has the same fire arrow effect. There's the Rohan summon. Ooh, someone get a big wizard blast there. There's the Watcher. Oh my. Saruman's got to be very close. He needs to get out of there. You can be killed by your own Watcher, of course, so he needs to be a bit cautious. That was a bit a risky play. I should really stop clicking on the video now. Gonna be lucky if he gets out of there, especially with Rohan there. And having no health. He's used the Vision of the Palantir to give him a 15% speed bonus. Look at him go! Never seen the old bastard run so fast in his life. You can also put him in hold ground stance. Not hold ground stance, aggressive stance to get a 10% speed bonus now as well. So you can actually get a 10% and a 15% speed bonus with Isengard, which is pretty nuts. Which could make getting out of sticky situations or chasing down enemies pretty good. But of course you do have to weigh the fact that aggressive stance does make you have a severe armor penalty in addition to that speed buff. So it'll be easy to kill, but it'll be harder to catch. It's a bit of a trade-off. But it's a neat little change. At first I wasn't in favor of the aggressive stance giving a speed bonus, but now I've come around to it, and I think it's pretty cool. There's a few things that are questionable when changed, but once you see them in game, I don't have as much problem with them as I thought I would, which is good. An army of War Riders, definitely a good tool to have with Sharky running around. I'm glad to see War Riders being utilized nicely. War Riders Trample is definitely much better than it used to be. They're actually very useful now, and of course, it's led by Sharku. I mean, he's not giving his units experience, which is a bit of a. I think he should be. Having leveled up Warg Riders is better than not having leveled up Warg Riders. But I mean, it doesn't really matter, I guess, in the grand scheme of things. But it wouldn't hurt. What was Aragorn? Level 5, so he does have the leadership at level 4, of course. At level 6, he gets Elendil, the Fear. And he'll probably have it soon from killing farms or whatnot. See how much he actually gets for killing a farm. Nothing, because he didn't kill it. I don't know why he would have shot that with his archers and robbed his hero of the experience. At least I think he did. But in a situation like this, where there's a tower and you do have fire arrows, I think Bombard would actually be the better call. Because it sets fire to the ground, you're still doing the damage for the arrows. This works too, though. He does have pretty good range, so you can shoot it from a distance. So you can take out that tower without too much trouble. Looks like In Blue is moving in with a pretty good Isengard force. Let's see how he fares. There's the wounding arrow. Split up his army. It's not a fear that lasts that long. It's just enough to split up your army a bit. Everyone's been cripple struck. There's the Cloud Break. Cloud Break is a little different now. Someone is fatal. Let's see if they're going to try to bring him down. There's the backstab. They're trying so desperately. They got him. Cloudbreak now restores 3 dead men per battalion when you use it, in addition to the heal that it had before. So it's a bit more useful now. And of course it does the stun. It's just a pretty good weather power, to be honest. Oh, he's trying to bait him in. Did it work? Not really. That was a long shot anyway. The way you can tell long shot difference from arrow volley is long shot makes that little bird noise. You usually hear it like a, I don't know what the sound is for arrow volley. I always forget that though, regardless. There, we got some Black Orcs coming out. Do they have Forged Blades? They do. So Black Orcs can actually benefit from heavy armor and Forged Blades and stuff from the Isengard Forge Works, as he has there. So he has those. And that could make Black Orcs very powerful for Isengard. A good frontline infantry troop if you don't want to utilize your Uruk-hai. Not a bad choice by any means. They do get Bloodthirsty at level 2, which is a passive 25% damage. So it's actually really great to get your Black Orcs to level 2. Just for that reason alone. Which can easily be achieved, of course, for all factions have easy access to banners. You can get banners, but all banners cost 100 to equip on any unit. So it's actually far more easy to utilize those and level up your units easy. And then you can start using those level 2 abilities like Long Shot, and of course, Bloodlust and what have you. But I think these upgraded Isengard armies are going to do quite well against the forces of the Men of the West. Also pikemen, if you weren't aware, in version 7 they've had a new attack animation added. So they don't just kick all the time, they actually stab with their pikes like they, you know, a pikeman would. So that's pretty cool. It's a small but very cool change. It looks like this game's about over. Oh shit. I don't know what happened over here, but... Ah, Dragon Strike. I didn't hear a Dragon Strike at all. Ah, yes, I should have looked in the minimap. Well, there you go. TrimA's been defeated. Very suddenly. Excellent. Well played, True In Bloom. That was a pretty back and forth game. I think the Men of the West had it for quite a good amount of the first amount of the match, but then Isengard managed to turn it around. So nice play, good stuff, and always nice to see a map played that is not Fords of Isen. I like Fords of Isen, don't get me wrong, but I'm always on the lookout for good games on different maps. So keep that in mind. Yeah. Alright, cool. Well, hope you guys enjoyed that cast of the Rise of the Witch King Patch 2.2 version 7, and I will see you guys next time.